This is Power Athlete Radio. With your hosts, Denny K, Professor Booty, and the Luke Summers. And now, toes forward, hips locked, shoulders set, and retract those scapulars. It's time for some knowledge bombs.
What's happening, Power Athlete Nation? It's that time. I'm fired up. We got a good show for you today. Got Cali on the horn.
Hello.
And Luke Summers. What's happening?
What's going on? Cali just got me all fired up. You're disagreeing with me. Everybody's screwed. Everyone in Power Athlete Nation is screwed.
George is getting upset.
Look out. Look out. So, how you been, Luke? Missed you last time.
I know. I listened to you guys. Tex tried to take a jab at me at, minute marker 38, second marker 42 seconds about drinking beers and sharing state championship stories. But, when you talk to a guy who's been on a consistently losing team for the past 18 years, they just want to know what it's like to wear the ring.
Ouch.
And I can't help it if Tex buys me drinks and just keeps asking, what's it like? What's it like? I gotta tell them more stories.
Give the people what they want.
I gotta give the people what they want, exactly.
Trying to live through your glory years.
What do they call that? Vicariously?
Yeah.
Yeah. I often wonder what that word meant.
Let's see, what else have we been doing? We've been setting up here. Finally got the office space put together at new headquarters. And then just kind of running and gunning because it's, we're putting all the pieces in place for 2014 over the next couple of weeks. And it's going to be a big year next year.
Big year. Huge year.
Year of the Power Athlete.
Takeover.
Yeah, so this year was the year of the Power Athlete. 2014 is the year of the 2013 was the year of the Power Athlete. 2014 is the year of Power Athlete Nation. So
okay.
It's time for aggressive expansion. And we have a lot of pieces in place right now. One of the things that we're doing that we haven't done in the past is we've always phased the launches of our seminar, our CrossFit football seminar that we work. This year we're just throwing them all out there, letting everybody know where we're going to be so we don't have to answer any questions of whether or not we're coming somewhere or have to worry about booking something later in the year because we're going to have a lot of work to do. So if you see these seminars out there and you want to go to one, you got to sign up now. Don't expect something to come in your area. The only places that I don't have listed yet are Germany. We're going to be in Germany in September. We're going to be back in Tampa in September. We're going to be back in the UK. That's going to be sometime in June, I believe. And then in August, we're heading to the west coast of Australia. We're going to finally hit up Perth. And then we're going to be in LA and somewhere along the mid-Atlantic coast. So we're going to hit that mid-Atlantic coast a couple spots. Still finalizing what location we're going to hit there, but that's it. That and then also actually Dallas. Dallas is going to be on our list as well.
We have that Antarctica cert we're going to.
Yeah, that's just Cali though. It's a private seminar for Cali.
Antarctica.
Yep.
So with this, then we're going to have all that set in place. We're going to get all of our hosts everything they need to do to help us market this. We're going to have all the materials for them. And then from there, it's all about content.
Yeah, we've been working our fingers to the bone.
Yeah, providing accessibility and getting the people what they need and what they want. So we get tons of questions each day, internal and external on how would we do this differently? How would we approach this athlete? And we address some of that on the podcast. But for the most part, me being kind of a systems guy, we're trying to put into place something that's repeatable and sustainable. So no matter what, it's scalable, it's a true method, and that's what we truly have done this year is established a methodology that is portable to really any sport. And it's going to be about empowering coaches next year to put this thing into play. So all sorts of cool resources coming out.
And it seems like a lot with you and Cali, Tex, Ben, John. I mean, how do you guys plan on doing this huge ordeal with just, 5-6 people?
That's a great question, Denny. I basically do the work of 3 people, working the midnight oil, and I don't know. We need help. We definitely need help. We are getting inquiries frequently on, internship possibilities or employment possibilities, and really the standards have not changed for that since Luke and I came on board. They existed before us, and we're going to follow through with those. Luke, you want to go through some of those?
Yeah, got it. First things first, you got to come to our seminar. You have to understand who we are. You got to want to be a part of that team when you see us show up and kind of lay down the information. So you got to come to the seminar twice. First as an attendee, second as I guess a participant. You have to let us know that you know what you're talking about. In terms of like participant, I mean participating in coaching and interning, things like that. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not you're mopping the floors, changing the light bulbs, or writing a blog post, you have to know your shit, because we just have no room for that. Like, you have to understand our training system. You have to understand the methodology. You need to know it. And we communicate that information right now in our seminar. And
maybe part of it too is like when you come to the second seminar, you may have blacked out a little bit during the first one. When you come to the second one, you might think, maybe I don't want to actually work with these people.
Yeah.
I've heard these quotes. They're the same movie quotes over and over again. Same shit, different day.
I know your first seminar experience can be pretty overwhelming. You guys put a lot out there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to ask that you go to at least 2, right?
Right.
And it's kind of a show of good faith too. I mean, we're asking you to come to 2 because if you really are interested, you have a passion for it, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me, for Tex, for Luke, and so that's a sort of a commitment and putting yourself out there, a financial commitment too, to just say like, hey, I'm in this, I'm interested, I'm serious about it.
So that's the beginning phase, no matter how you want to participate. If you want to participate as a seminar coach, got to go to those seminars for sure. Then you have to do some sort of internship, which, we have an internship program in place. We have developmental goals. We have developmental guidelines, timelines, everything. But
does the internship require you to move to Costa Mesa?
Not for a seminar host. It depends, essentially, because if you're not willing to relocate, then you have to travel to whatever seminars are either in your area or that you're willing to travel to, right? Now, if you're out here in Costa Mesa and you show up to work and bang weights every day, you're going to develop a ton faster. So that's an option, but it's not a requirement. It just depends on what type of flexibility you have and what you're willing to do and how bad you want it. But,
how you want to become involved. I mean, with Power Athlete, there are plenty of opportunities and skill sets that are valuable to us that maybe do or don't require relocation.
Yeah, I mean, we're an online company in the sense that we put our information out. It's going to be virtual, so there is opportunity for virtual work group and virtual work. But again, we don't bode well with mediocrity. So we want to get people who are truly passionate about it, and whether or not they write, they do some sort of media, their design, they're familiar with distribution of content, of physical goods.
Verbal abuse, you have to be a little bit familiar with that.
Yeah, you have to be able to. No one does a good job; they only do a bad job. In the sense that you only hear from the bosses when you do something wrong. We're looking for any sort of talent really, and people who want to be a part of it and want to test and want to create media and want to help out. And just like you, I mean, you, Steve and Denny jumped on and like you guys are doing our podcast. You guys are passionate. The pay's not very good. The hours are shitty. But you know what? Whenever we're in town, we'll take care of you.
Right. So,
I mean, I don't know. Is that loud and clear? I know we don't have really any official titles, but at the end of the day, most people want to join that seminar staff. And if that's what you want to do, then, that's a a privilege that's earned through, I guess, dedication, proving that you know what the hell you're talking about, and a commitment to growing the overall company.
So it's, a while ago, John put the space monkey on one of the Talk to Me Johnny posts. It sounds like that's still the criteria.
That's still the criteria.
So if anybody hasn't read that, search it on the Talk to Me Johnny site. I believe that's where he posted that on.
Yes, that's how I found it.
And he kind of explains exactly what you're explaining. Make yourself known. At the end of the day, you're going to have to kind of see if you can fit with the group, right? Do you have thick skin? Can you take verbal beating? What am I missing?
That's basically it. No, I mean, it's
right?
It's not like, the seminars are a ton of fun, and we actually filmed, I guess. What do you call it? I mean, Cali, Ben, and I strapped GoPros to our foreheads for a weekend so people can get some insight on what it's like to travel. Granted,
this was a while ago. But...
Yeah, so and I put together this video, and I know, Denny, I know you've seen it, so maybe I'll post this on the show notes as well, but it's just like a little almost mockumentary of like what it ultimately turns into. Like, you end up going crazy, and you're a crazy person. It's legit, like going back to Fight Club, it's single-serving friends, single-serving soap. You live out of a hotel room, you say the same shit to a different set of faces in different time zones and different area codes. Like, that's it over and over again. And it actually takes a certain personality type to be able to do that and continuously show up and knock it out of the park, even though you're delivering the same material to seemingly the same audience with the same coworkers, telling the same jokes.
Potentially coming off of like a terrible travel scenario, or like no sleep, or, if you're delayed somewhere or rerouted. I mean, that part really sucks. If you don't love to fly like me, it's also, every weekend you're like, am I going to make it? Is this plane going to go down?
Perfect example, Denny. So when were we in Tampa? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We were Tex flew out from DC to get to Tampa, and I was flying out from
LA,
from Newport. Okay. So I took a flight from Newport to Arizona. The flight is delayed due to flash flood warnings in Phoenix. They had some downpour, and they shut down the airport. Okay, so my flight's delayed 30 minutes. Well, it just so happened that my connecting flight left without me. So now I'm stuck in Phoenix, and the next flight out, at this point, it was a 6 a.m. flight or 6:45 a.m. flight. I land in Phoenix at 9:30 a.m., which is when my flight took off, so they left me behind. The next flight is at 4 p.m. Okay, so I got like 7 hours to kill, 6 hours to kill because of boarding. I jump into the frequent flyer lounge. I get some work done. I put together that athlete profile post for Harry, which if you haven't seen, check it out. It's legit. And the next thing you know, I didn't adjust my watch, so I'm still on Pacific time, and I miss my flight. And the only flight out is a red eye, and it's full. So I have to cancel my ticket on my current carrier, buy a ticket with Delta. I have to run across the terminal, jump on a 7 p.m. flight back to LA. Okay, so I land in LA at like 10 o'clock. There's a red eye going out to Orlando. So I'm going to go into Orlando, rent a car, and drive up to Tampa. All right, so the red eye is supposed to leave at like 10:58. Well, there's some sort of security threat in LAX where they shut down LAX, and they end up screening twice. They screen every passenger in my terminal. So I don't have to get back in this terminal, but I'm being literally herded into security by TSA, by security, by cops, by everybody. And I just kind of pivot, step, spin, gone. And like the amount of anxiety you have trying to like avert TSA during a potential terrorist issue is like I thought I was going to get shot in the back. Like they thought I was a terrorist. I didn't. I was too fast. But so then I get to my flight. I run up to the gate as the doors are closing. I get onto my red eye. So I jump on the red eye. I'm packed into a middle seat between two guys who are just as equal size.
Pretty small.
Which are jacked, huge. And I don't sleep at all during this red eye flight. I'm trying, but these dudes, like, you just can't get comfortable. The flight's delayed because of the security thing. I get into Orlando at 8:30 a.m. All right. The cert starts at 8 a.m. So Tex is just rolling solo. Who knows what he's talking about?
Or not talking
about. And, I haven't slept for easily 24 hours. I have to show up and, basically it's a 90-minute drive from Orlando to Tampa, pull in, change my shirts, spit on my hand, wipe my face, comb my hair, and go. And I just walk in and I have to put on an 8-hour seminar, and Tex was there too. Like he actually wasn't well rested because he woke up and thought he had to come pick me up from Tampa, but my flight was delayed and he saw that. So he was up at like 4 a.m. But like there's a perfect scenario of pretty standard operating procedure when you're flying across the country because direct flights are ridiculously expensive. But
we're going to put all interns through that simulation.
Yeah.
See how they come out. God, he likes to complain a lot, huh?
Nothing is ever what it seems, right?
But, that stuff happens more frequently than not. Like we probably get, out of the 32 seminars we did this year, half of them had some sort of drama with travel. But
all right, well, what are some of the positives? I mean, why do you choose to go through that then?
Good point,
right.
Denny.
I mean, obviously you're getting paid huge amounts of money.
Yeah. Honestly, like
that's just a given.
I guess it's the purist in me in the sense that, it's an opportunity to deliver what I truly consider and believe to be one of the best platters of information and content within the circle of kind of the CrossFit specialty seminars. Like the material's tested and dialed, and it's like we've done the reading, we know how to do it, it all makes sense, and it's fun to interact with people and see the aha moment happen. I mean, Cali.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine doing something else. When you find this program and it works for you, what more could you do than go out and try to teach people the ways, teach them the methods, and hope that they have the same result. And so we come from a place of like real passion, and it's definitely not the most lucrative job in the world, but it is it pays dividends. Like, I don't know, just it's an amazing, rewarding feeling when you get emails after or you get responses there, and people are truly grateful. And it's over something positive and something that's effective, and it's not just a bunch of bullshit.
I like it.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
That's a theme song of our documentary that I think Luke's gonna link it up, but I don't know how many months ago it was, but it's I think I must have been high the whole time because I'm laughing through about like 15 minutes of just pure entertainment.
Yeah, it's
as per usual.
No, but I guess at the end of it, it's fun. I mean, it is fun. You can't have the sweet without the sour, but it's fun. The travel is annoying, but once you get there, people people within the community of CrossFit are legit. Like, everybody who's willing to invest that much time and money is really there to learn.
Oh yeah, people are jazzed, and when other people are jazzed, suddenly you forget about like all the travel problems or, like whatever the case may be, and you're like, fuck, yeah, this is awesome.
So, and I guess that's why we do it. We never has ever asked us that. Why do you go through all this nonsense?
No, I don't know.
But, I don't know. I mean, Denny, you've been there.
The babes. Luke.
The babes.
Luke does it for the babes.
I just do it for, like to give chicks my number and stuff, and then we go on dates.
Typical.
Says Cali, who regularly gets autograph requests.
I regularly got it one time, which is great.
And what? I don't want to talk about it.
What?
No, it's so that's the deal. And I guess, we're welcoming applicants, we're welcoming people who are interested, and we constantly field that. But it's a slow process at the start, and then once you're in, it's light speed. So,
do you have to have any other CrossFit certs?
No.
You need to be a level 1?
No.
You just need to be to at least 2 CrossFit football.
Yeah, but see, when we field, so one thing to take into consideration is a lot of the content that we talk about, we utilize information from the level 1, but we also have to acknowledge things that, in level 1 in the sport of fitness and in CrossFit and in developing fitness, there are certain, what's the word I'm looking for?
They're just differences.
There's certain differences
Approaches.
that where, okay, we don't want you to reach your head on a chin up and we want you to maintain posture and position because that's what we're reinforcing. However, hammering full range of motion, we know that work capacity is defined as force times distance over time. So if you can do more work in less time, you're going to get in better shape.
We acknowledge the relationship. There is a relationship. We have to acknowledge that. I mean, it exists, but a lot of times when people come to the seminar, that's their only interaction with CrossFit football is just through CrossFit. And so it's kind of just bridging the gap there.
Yeah, delineate the training goals like, hey, we're looking for athleticism and performance in your sport with the CrossFit football methodology. Now, if we were going to apply a CrossFit methodology for fitness, then there's certain things that are more applicable, and it's just having the understanding of whether what we're putting out there is for performance or for fitness,
We've thrown around the idea too, and Denny, you would be invited to this, but after the new year sometime, having a week long or maybe even a long weekend sort of, what would you call it, symposium where potential interns or people who are involved in the community come out and we basically, it's like a knowledge fest and we just basically
sit around a table,
train,
and we pour shots of whiskey. We play, and the last one standing gets a job.
Shot.
I like it. Hey, yeah, Cali, I remember we talked about that a few months ago.
What, water, shot?
Yeah, exactly. No, the extended weekend or a training camp, whatever you want to call it.
In the biz, we call that a girls' sleepover. So yeah,
I have certain images in my mind right now.
We've got some dates, some hard dates now for the seminars, and we've got some possible dates for regionals and all that stuff in the queue. So now we can organize a bit around it and see if we can make that possible. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and Luke and myself and Tex are planning on doing some training at some other facilities as well, taking some trips. So it's just going to be such a busy time, but that's definitely a priority of ours, just to kind of band together the people at our fingertips who have been doing so much work, and then people who want to do more. So
nice. I'm excited. I mean, shit, it's time to step up to the plate.
Yeah, for sure.
2014, man. I seen your the post on Vancouver and Dallas. What's that about? What are you guys looking for specifically?
So we were able to find a solid list of gyms that have been to the seminar, have hosted other seminars, and have the equipment and space requirements that we need. And we've never really looked for that trinity. We need someone who's been to the seminars so they can accurately represent people. When you say, hey, we're hosting CrossFit football, you want to show up? And they're like, oh, I don't play football, I play soccer. Well, yeah, it's called CrossFit football because the guy who started it played CrossFit football. Here's what they go over at the seminar, and here's how it's going to benefit you. If you haven't been to the seminar, then you can't articulate what the hell goes on, and you can't, quote unquote, sell it. And we work very closely with the hosts to kind of tag team the marketing attack, because what we have is the information, we have the collateral, we have the flyers, we have the videos, they have the network. So we have to utilize their network, and that synergy is something that's kind of hard to keep up on if you haven't hosted a seminar before. So that's why, not only do we want you to have attended our seminar, we want you to have hosted some sort of specialty seminar, so you understand, what the specialty matter experts rely, what they're relying on you for. And then outside of that, we obviously need the equipment and space. So all those requirements are on the want to host portion of the CrossFit football website. And And for the most part, we got it going, but we couldn't find anybody who was interested in Vancouver. But we have a couple pings, got a couple hits, messages on Facebook, and I think we're going to get something there. And same thing in Dallas. And I know Texas is probably going to listen to this and be like, hey,
someone in Dallas.
Y'all know I'm from Texas. Y'all should have just asked me who,
That's not a country accent.
Yeah, right. I was going to say.
Well, it's Texas accent. But so I just want to see who out there in Facebook land would ping us on that, and we also got we got some feedback on both those locations. So just again trying to get all the pieces in place for 2014, and I can't believe I haven't brought up the new CrossFit football site is going to launch in a couple weeks.
The new CrossFit football site?
Yep. It should be done. It should be done by 2014. Our programmer is literally hears from me every day. Everything is being pieced together as we speak, and we are going to have a new look and new
same
identity.
great taste.
But same programming, which is hopefully what people care about. But a little more sophisticated commenting system. We aren't going to have any sort of results tracking. It just candidly wasn't in the budget for a free program. You want to track your results, get a pen, get a notebook, and fucking learn how to write. But yeah, we got a new site coming. It's going to be pretty legit, and then hopefully a lot more easier to navigate for new individuals, because that's what we're hearing is a lot of people show up and like, I'm confused. I don't understand how the site works. Well, candidly, we haven't done a great job of keeping this site up to date because it's extremely old and outdated and
ones and zeros.
Yeah, it takes more effort to update than it's almost worth. So we just said fuck it. Let's put in a whole new platform. So you're going to see that literally in January. That's going to happen. You don't believe me? Yeah,
I believe you. I believe you. He's pulling up the site right now, and it appears to be the new image is rainbows and unicorns, which is totally weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, looks good.
So we gotta go training. Maybe I'll send a screenshot.
Oh.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Send me a screenshot or something.
Yeah, we're gonna send you. It's gonna blow your mind right now.
Hang on.
So he said January 2017, right?
Yeah, 2017.
So Denny, can you see my screen?
Yeah, awesome. There's you and Ben and Cali.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
This is going to be the new layout here. The new commenting system hasn't been installed yet, so it just kind of looks like your standard deal. I know people probably listen to this are like,
no, they're like, what the fuck, dude?
I know.
Yes, but let's talk about something that is pertinent to the vlog that we were talking about before we got on the podcast, before we went live.
Oh, okay.
When you had your big fit.
Oh, okay. So speaking of the commenting system, it's going to be a little more, it's going to be updated. We're going to have some, better way for us to track comments. It'll be more interactive. So when I see comments like...
First of all, let me just say, if you don't have a work ethic and you're listening to this program now, log on to CrossFitFootball.com and just go under the comment section and you can waste hours just looking at the interaction. It's pretty amazing. I do it frequently.
So, dude, that site looks badass, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, Denny.
Oh.
I don't know. I've been reading a couple of comments, and I guess here's the informative, rather than us just bantering. Here's the informative portion of the podcast or radio show today. All right, weightlifting or lifting weights and skill work. So, at the seminar we define skill work in a couple of parameters. It's something that you do that's going to improve your ability to train, and training should be an activity that's improving your ability to perform. Okay, so skill work, let's say with snatch balance, overhead squat, that tends to be something that's pretty difficult for people to really dive into. So breaking those components down and doing submaximal efforts should never substitute the strength workout of the day, which is the SWAD. Okay, so for those of you who are like, I just did skill work today, I did light weight. Here's the deal. Skill work is going to help build movement, stability, things like that. It could help. But the best way for you to get better at lifting weights is to lift weights. You have to overload the system. You have to go heavy. All right. So that's not to say like don't do skill work. Yeah, sure, do your skill work. But if you're supposed to squat a 2 RM, you better load up and squat a 2 RM. You know, and again, I'm assuming there's no injury that's at play that's inhibiting you from loading. If you're just not good at a lift and you choose to do skill work to quote unquote get better, that's bullshit. And Cali, you can censor.
No, that's it. But the other end of it is that we have to define skill work for these people because skill work at 70% of a 1 RM is not skill work. We're talking about that low heart rate, easily broken down movement pattern. So I'm not entirely sure if these people are cognizant of what adaptation they're trying to drive. But like he said, it's not a replacement for the SWAD. So I just love it. And they're like, I'm just gonna maybe do some, what do we see on there? Like fucking.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, I don't want to blatantly call the guy out. And well, first off, thank you everyone for following CrossFit Football, the program, and you're all doing a great job. But it was overhead squats. Someone was just like, I just did light overhead squats for skill work, and then, and then all of a sudden he had huge press numbers. Not understanding that there's a pre-fatigue concept to max reps overhead squats going into your 3 RM push press. Like there's a purpose. These lifts are programmed. Like, I don't know. So that's my rant for the day. And, hopefully if you have questions, obviously throw them in the comments. But you'll know you're doing skill work right if it's submaximal, if you're breaking down some sort of compound movement pattern into its foundational components, right? And if, it's done at a low heart rate. Skill work should only be 5 to 10 minutes. We just like to put parameters around things because people could use it. And are there exceptions? Absolutely. But I can tell you with utmost certainty that you would be doing skill work if you break these movements down. You're working on position. You're doing it submaximally. And, you're building movement pattern. But when we want to stress and overload the system, you have to go heavy. And as long as you're in a safe position, go heavy and suck. But as soon as you start breaking position, whether it's due to depth or anything like that, then bummer, man.
We're not saying we don't like skill work. We're just saying do it right.
Yeah. Is that clear, Denny?
What are some of the examples when you guys ask for skill work? I mean, the first one that pops in my head is do 20 minutes of gymnastic skill work, okay. And then you go to the DWAD.
So it's hard because
there's one example, right, where you're asking for skill work. Or off.
Here's what I'm going to do first. So yeah, absolutely. Skill work is a component that should be incorporated on a weekly basis. But the problem with skill work is it directly addresses an athlete's limiting factors.
Your holes.
Right. So for me, when I see gymnastics work come up, I'm doing rotational work, primarily rotational work to try and increase my range of motion in terms of rotation. And then I'll probably go into some tumbling because it's fun.
I do full versions of the lifts, break it down.
Mm-hmm. So, like when you talk about, okay, do 30 minutes or 20 minutes of gymnastics work, figure out what you're not good at. Let's say overhead squats is your problem. Then you better do something that's going to start breaking up the tissue that's restricting that, whether it's your pecs, whether it's your lats, whether it's your T-spine. Like do some sort of rotation, do some bridges, do some bridging. That type of stuff, get inverted, do wide grip handstand push-ups, like do things that
you're not good at
that are going to address your limiting factors. So, and that's, there's going to be a post coming out, and I'm not sure how edited or censored it's going to be, but, it kind of talks about where the shortcomings of CrossFit football in the sense that it's a pretty good freaking program, Denny. I mean, everybody who tries it knows it. We see it on the comments. We have so many testimonials we got to publish about how it's legitimately like opened people's eyes to what a training system could be in the sense that you will come back day after day ready to perform and ready to get better, right? And but the problem is we don't get to fix anyone's holes because we don't know what they are. And most people don't know what they are. Like, if we were to even create a choose-your-own-adventure skill set, like, okay, people with shoulder mobility issues, people with inflexible thoracic spine, no spinal rotation, no lateral flexion, here's what I want you to do. Like, people might not even know what the hell that means, so why even put that out there if it can be improperly dosed?
Well, that's when you're doing an online thing where you don't get to kind of see the movements right in front of your eyes. That's just kind of the shit you got to deal with, right?
Yeah, and really, I sincerely, like, I don't want people to think we're shortchanging, but we're doing the best we can with what we got for who shows up.
Right, and on more than one time, I've heard pretty much all the power athlete coaches say, or write in the comments, like, post a video, you know? In order for me to answer your question, I need to see what you're talking about. I need to see your range of motion for whatever the question might be.
And I need to know what you're training for to determine whether or not it even matters.
Right. Good point.
Someone might be like, hey, man, my overhead squat is really shitty because it hurts my shoulders. Oh, by the way, I'm a minor league pitcher. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. You shouldn't be doing that. You know?
Right.
Like,
you're saying when we want you to squat heavy, don't be a fucking pussy and back off and claim that you're going to skill work to reinforce position so you can do it properly.
In substitution for the lift.
In substitution for a lift. Just admit that on that given day, you wore your pussy shirt.
That is.
We should sell that.
Yeah, that's offensive to all the pussies out there. I just want to apologize on Denny's behalf. He's not being very sensitive to the fact that you're a giant pussy.
Nice. All right.
So I guess that's my public service announcement for today. Because we couldn't land on a user submission, but that's all we had. What else, Denny?
Hawaii this weekend, right? And Oklahoma?
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm going to Oklahoma where it's probably 10 degrees. And then Callie's going to Hawaii with John. With the expense account, as I should call it.
It's the best traveling with John because the food situation is excellent. He doesn't really spare any expense when it comes to traveling and going to like the nicest steakhouses and stuff. It's not like when I travel with Luke and we end up at like the seediest diner I've ever been to, where like there's like caution tape and like you can see hair as an ingredient in the omelet.
Yeah, but it was really cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So yeah, we're looking forward to this weekend. Knock that out, and then I think that's it until after Christmas, right?
Yeah, and then it's a new year.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. We're gonna knock out a podcast next week before the holidays.
Yeah, and then who knows, Denny? Maybe I'll just come up and me and you will rap because I'm gonna be in Chicago over Christmas.
For sure. Let's do it. We'll squat heavy, and we won't be giant pussies.
Well, I'm going back to DC for Christmas, and how much you want to bet that Luke comes back? He's lost 20 pounds.
Where are you going with this?
And I'm more jacked than ever.
Kylie's referring to a deep network of friends I have back in Chicago that aren't as enthusiastic about training as they are staying up all night drinking when I come back in town. They still think we're like 20 years old and made of rubber. I'm Mr. Glass, man. All I can handle is, 200 kilos on my back. I can't handle 200 beers in my belly.
No.
But you know what they are? State champions, Tex. State champions. An elite network of men.
I'm just going to go back to DC, read the Bible, and train. That's it.
Read the Bible.
Callie needs guidance. That's where she seeks it.
All right, this
let's get out of here. We've bored everyone enough.
We're out of time.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. I got to get moving anyways. And Denny, thanks a lot. Too bad we couldn't get Steve and Welbourn on here. They had last minute stuff to do, but
whatever. Steve's dead to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys see his snatch grip deadlift?
No.
230 kilos.
Did he post a video?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Dude, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
You sent a video?
Yeah, he put it on.
You put it out there.
It's just okay.
All right.
All right,
Cool. Well, let's have a good one. Be safe at the seminar. We'll hook up next week.
All right.
All right, bye. We'll talk
Okay.
next week. Bye.
See you, Nate.
Later.